All right, so this session is about knee TLC. So what we want to do is do some release and move drills to help improve our knee health. So we're going to draw some circulation to the area, look at the fascia, the muscles and the tissue in that area, and try and reduce pain and a bit of inflammation. So work through the class one exercise after another, and then if you want to work on the other side, then stop the video and start again for the other side. Let's give it a whirl. All right, so anterior hip, we're going to be working around the top of our hip where the leg joins. We're looking at all the muscles and fascia in this area rather than one specific muscle. Important area, so we're going to go 90 seconds. Place the blade down, front of the hip on, and time the stance. So from here, just trying to accept the pressure of the blade. Move back and forward slightly, and I'm starting more towards my midline, so more in towards my groin. Just working back and forward. Not trying to go too fast. If you feel a real tender point, hold on that point. Ease back and forward on it. You can always flex your knee like this as well and lift the knee off the floor for a bit more pressure into that hip. And then start to work your way towards the outside. You're pivoting out towards the outside of the leg, but still up in that hip area. Back and forward there. If you want a bit more pressure again, you can grab here, back and forward. Find that tight area. Wherever's the most painful spot is where you need to be, really. So keep on going through there. Back to the inside. That's a minute. Just going to go another 30 seconds. We get very tight through our hips when we sat down, so it's important to spend a bit of time undoing that tightness. Find those tender spots. Another 10 seconds. Back and forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so now we're going to work through the quad. So we're working down through the front, on the outside, and towards the inside of the quad. So we're rolling the whole thigh. So we're going to go for 90 seconds because it's a big area. So start in the middle of my quad and roll up towards my hip and then down towards my knee. So this is going to be quite a sensitive area, especially if you trained legs yesterday. So back and forward, working our way up and down the muscle, really trying to bring some circulation to the area, looking for those painful points. There's one there, right in the middle of the front of my quad. So from there I'm just going to flex and extend my knee, which gives me a pin and stretch style effect on the muscle. So again, back and forward in that area. I can work my way towards the outside of the quad as well. Again, back and forward, staying quite high. Now I can shift it a little bit lower towards my knee and work through that bottom section of the quad for the last 30 seconds. This is where you're going to feel it's a little bit more painful. So working through above the knee, make sure you pivot to the outside and the inside. Back and forward in that area. Whoa, yeah, there's the tight spots. Support yourself with your arms. 10 seconds to go, you'll be happy to know. Nearly there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. So now we're going to do the hamstrings. So we're going back of the leg. We're working from our butt down the outside and then down on the inside, but we start across this section. So we're going to go 60 seconds, start at the top, I'm going to rotate my leg out, start the timer, and away we go. So looking at, again, the best way to do this is to try and work in sections. I'm going to go to the top. You can also pivot inwards towards the hamstrings that attach on the inside of the knee. And if we pivot out, we're targeting the hamstrings that go to the other side. So find any really sore spots and hang out on them for a while. Back and forward there. I'm going to work my way down towards the knee. Now I'm going a little bit lower What you've got to do is kind of find the tightest areas for you and kind of focus on that area of the hamstring more. So now I've rotated my leg out, supporting myself with my hands and my other foot. Back and forward in this section, again rotating in. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we're going for IT band. Now what we want to do here is we're just going to look at the bottom section and we want the middle blades either side of the IT band. So I'm going to place it on its side. Now you're not going to be able to do more than a minute on this. So I place this down, my leg goes into that area, and I'm going to bring this foot over the top for support, and I'm taking a lot of weight with my arms and legs. Timer starts. And we're just looking for a small amount of movement. It's definitely sore. What I'm trying to do is just pivot back slightly because I want to break down the adhesion between the IT band and the muscles underneath. So I'm kind of targeting my hamstrings behind the IT band, and then if I pivot forward a bit, I'm targeting my lateral quad, which is behind the IT band, but more towards the front of my body. So I'm going to pivot that way. Oh yeah. Back and forward. Of course, you want to release the muscles of your hip as well before doing this. Working your way through it. Just starting to get used to the pressure now. I can go a fraction higher. Working through that area. If this is too intense, put a towel over the blade and then do it from there. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, so we're going to work through the front of our shin on the outside of the leg, so perineals and antib. Now a good way to do this is to take a small cap and we're going to go into what we call a 90-90 position. So from there, I'm finding that spot and we're going to go 60 seconds. So I'm just underneath the outside of the knee. I'm just working back and forward in that area. There's a pretty painful spot. And we're going to do 15 seconds there. You can also sweep the ankle like this as you rub back and forward, so you want a kind of friction in that area. And from there, I'm just going to move it down a little bit further. Again, back and forward. Change the position of your ankle, you're going to feel a lot more tension there. Back and forward. Holding that pressure. And again, for the last 15 seconds, I'm going to go a little bit lower. Again, if you want to do a bit longer than this, pause the video and just find 3 or 4 spots that you spend 15 to 20 seconds on. And then come off. All right, so now we're working through the calf higher up. So I'm going to work through the medial side of the top part of my calf. So we're going to do medial and lateral, but we're starting here. So pick whichever blade set is most comfortable for you. Rotate your leg in and stay quite high. We're away, 60 seconds. Back and forth in that area. Again, we're not going too fast and we're not trying to roll too far. Far too often I see people trying to roll the whole of their body in one go, or the whole of an area. It needs to be slow and controlled, but make sure we're still moving. Again, finding painful points. Once you find some painful points, take your foot and ankle through some different movements. Just see how that affects the pressure in your lower leg. Well, there's a real painful one there. Ooh. Flexing the ankle, getting that muscle moving, and again back and forward, trying to bring some hydration into that fascia. Get up the top there, all just on this medial side. Back and forward, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, so this drill we're going to use a towel to help create a bit of space on the knee, but also to bring a bit of blood flow to the knee as well. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go 45 seconds, but I'm going to stand up first. I bring this right into the crevice of my knees, and then I flex forward onto the balls of my feet, put my knees on the cushion just for some support. And now 45 seconds starting now. Now I'm going to flex my feet flat, and I'm just going to sit back in. You might feel a bit of a stretch here, but you're definitely going to feel pressure into the back of the knee, and you feel pressure into your calf. Try flexing your calves into the towel, and then ease off. Sitting back a bit further, opening that knee up a fraction. Flex the calf, hold the flex, and then sit back in again a bit further. If you need to put a towel under your toes, you can. Flex the calf and then sit back in, flexing into it, 5 more seconds. Hold, lean right back, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we come out of it, that's going to bring more blood flow to the knee as well. All right, so we're going to go for some supine leg slides. Now what I'm going to do here is we're going to make sure that this leg, I'm trying to keep tension into this towel the whole way through. So I'm going to lie on my back. We're going to go 45 seconds. Palms of my hands down and start the clock. So I'm bringing my knee into my body, and then from here I'm extending my leg up, pushing my heel towards the ceiling, back in and slide away. 1, up, drive up, trying to keep tension down into the towel, lift, drive up, pulling my toes towards me, really trying to straighten my leg as best I can. Doesn't matter if you can't straighten it, but just try to. Pull in, lift your heel towards the ceiling, knee back in, slide away. Another 10 seconds, up, reach, keep this leg down, and one more, lift, reach, 3, 2, 1, and down. All right, 90-90 drill, we're gonna do it for 90 seconds. So, legs at 90 degrees, hand at your side pushing you across. Let's start the clock. All right, reaching forward, breathe out, don't collapse, keep your spine long, pulling it forward. Hold, and back up. And I'm bringing both hands round, pulling my chest round towards this wall. Big deep breath there, and then take this arm and just reach underneath. This arm doesn't need to collapse. Reach there, then elbow down, reach long over my head. And now let's bring our legs round. We're going to change to the other side. Reach. Again, long spine, don't round into it. To your side. Arm threads underneath. Elbow down, reach long overhead. Change to the other side. And we're going to go a bit quicker. Reach. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change sides again. Reach long. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if it feels like you need to do more, pause and do a couple more repetitions. All right, walk out with figure 4 stretch. Again, 60 seconds. So sit in, timer has started, we're underway. Walk out. Now from here, I'm going to take my leg, straighten it across underneath me, pulling my chest towards the floor, lower my hips slightly, bring it back, other one comes up and through, lower my hips slightly, foot goes back, I'm going to walk back, stand up nice and tall, and again sit back into it, hands to the floor, walk out, thread the foot through, and back, thread the foot through, and back, find a nice squat position, and up, and we'll go one more through, sit, walk, thread, lower hips, lower hips, back, and all the way up. All right, so we're going to go through some tilts now. So we're just kind of lengthening the spine, opening the hip, and working on the other side. So 45 seconds, here we go. On one side, I'm going to reach this away. It's just there for a bit of support. Reach this arm out to the side. Stand up nice and tall. Standing up from here, back leg straight. Reach into it. And up. I want to make sure my knee isn't collapsing in. Reach. Think of your body and your back leg being on the same line. And reach. You don't need to have a towel on the floor like this. It's just because the floor is slippery. To give the anchor point some grip. Hold. And up. And reach. Use whatever you have. Mop, broom, child, whatever you got.